My name is Katriana and I'm a senior member of the Jefferson Lee Jades 4-H Club for Madison County, and the title of my presentation is Overexposed. There are many different social networking sites out there, like Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, MySpace, Skype, Flickr, Instagram. And the list goes on and on and on. But the one thing that these sites all have in common is exposure. Every time you tweet, upload a photo, write a blog, update a status, or text, you're putting something personal out in the World Wide Web. And you might not ever be able to get it back, even if you have the chance to delete it. Now, my generation is often called the internet generation, and this got me thinking, is that a good nickname or a bad nickname? So I decided to do some research and tell you and share with you today some of the pros and cons of that. The first pro of that is it creates new relationships. You can meet new people on social network sites, and people on social networking sites can connect you with people that have similar interests with you. The next one is it connects people with friends and family that maybe you don't see often. Like, my mother's side of the family has a family reunion site that we can get on and share pictures of what we're doing, and it keeps us in contact when we only see people at family reunions and things like that. And the next one is it's a creative expression and a new medium. The internet recently came about in the last century, and it's freedom of speech. It also brings people with common interests together, which I said earlier with creating new relationships. The next one is you can get help with major life issues like finding a job or figuring out what college to go to. A lot of colleges these days have their own Facebook sites, and that's one way they recruit people these days, is that they have their own Facebook sites and they're on there and they're friending people and they're trying to get you to go to their college that way. The next one is studies show that social networking has a positive impact and can increase quality of life. And this is a good way an example of this is social networking helps low-income families and kids become more familiar with technology and computers. People who use social networking to maintain relationships, facilitate more face-to-face interactions instead of replacing them. What I mean by this is, like, say I go to school and I meet a friend, and I'm trying to get help on my math homework, so I go home, I message them, and then I get back to my math homework, and then when I go back to school, I talk to them again. That's a way of increasing the face-to-face talk, and I talk to them on Facebook, but I'm still talking to them in person. That's a way of increasing the face-to-face time as opposed to using the internet and stuff instead of talking to them. That's a good way of using social networking. Another way is it's a powerful tool for social change. What I mean by this, an example of this, an older one, is Coney 2012. A person posted a video on YouTube, and people tweeted about it and posted it on Facebook and stuff, and it had 30 million views on YouTube. And this is a way that people can use social networking for the good, because people wanted people to be aware of what was happening about something in Africa, and people were wanting to make a change for this. Now, even though there's a lot of pros about social networking, there's also a lot of cons. The first one of these is it increases online time and decreases face-to-face time. A lot of kids are spending a lot more time in their bedrooms locked up and not out playing basketball and spending more time with their families, sitting at the dinner table and just hanging out when they could be doing a lot of other things besides playing mindless games on the computer. Another one is, which also kind of relates, is replaces physical activity, when they could be running around, getting engaged in sports or getting engaged in 4-H, when instead they're just playing video games or on the internet surfing the web. The next one is the lack of security. The information you post out there is public, and the photos and texts that you post can be retrieved even after deletion. Say you post something and you decide to delete it, but somebody could have taken a photo of that and then reposted it before you deleted it. And you might think you deleted it, but it could have still been out there. And that's what I mean by there's a false sense of security that some sites that also lead to security attacks such as hacking, leaking sensitive info, and sending viruses. Oversharing personal information, which is an example of this, can leave you vulnerable to sexual or financial predators. People trust the information you send through Facebook and stuff, like emails through like email accounts, but the truth is they don't scan messages for viruses or scam. Do. Also, cyber criminals can gather information to be used for identity theft, like your birthday or your mother's maiden name or your pet's name and stuff, which you use that for, like, say you forget your credit card information, that's like your identity like question and stuff to get into your stuff, and you have that all over Facebook or Twitter and stuff, and you don't even think about that, but that's one way that people hack your credit card, and you put it all over social networking sites. Also, when applying for jobs, a lot of employers will get on social networking sites and check them out and see if this is the type of person we want working for our sites, or for our job. And so, putting stuff on that, you could lose job opportunities due to embarrassing photos or just inappropriate comments or posts. Social networking sites also have no way of verifying who people say they are. People could have a false you're vulnerable to solicitation from online predators that are able to mask their true identities. For example, for those of you who have Facebook or another thing, think of your friends list. If you don't know everybody who is on your friends list, I would highly suggest deleting everybody who you have not met in person or you don't know personally, because they can be, every time you put up a post or a photo, they're the people who are seeing that, and that's not very good privacy or anything like that. The last thing is social networking makes cyberbullying easier, and it's not as easy when there's bullying in a classroom. There's a teacher or an adult or a parent there to stop it, but when it's online, it's just online and it's a kid bullying another kid, and there's nobody really to stop it, and that's why social networking makes cyberbullying easier. Now, I'm going to read a few examples of some things that you might see on a social networking site, and I want to raise you to raise your hand, one or two, which one you think is a better choice of which to post on a social networking site. The first one is become in a relationship with somebody on Facebook and not tell your parents, or ask your parent permission to date somebody before putting the information out on the World Wide Web. Which of you think that the first one is the better idea? Anybody? Okay, which of you think the second one is the better idea? Alright, yes, definitely. Alright, the next one. Which of you think it would be a better idea to upload a few pictures of a trip you take after you leave your trip, or announce to all of your Facebook friends that you're going on a trip before you leave for a trip, and then when you get back, maybe your house is off or something? The first one? Or the second one? Very good, you guys are learning very fast. And those are my two things. Now that you know a few pros and cons about social networking, I hope you guys really think very carefully about the next time you post something out on the World Wide Web for everybody to see, and you think, is putting this out on the World Wide Web going to come back to haunt me? My sources were www.socialnetworking.procon.com, Wikipedia.org, and my own personal experience. Are there any questions?
You yourself